All right, Betsy. Hello, hello, hello. Lovely to
Hi,
see you.
Sophie.
Hey,
Great to
hey,
be
hey.
here.
Yes, so fabulous you're here, that you are here. So everyone who's watching live, welcome. Fabulous to see you all. And what I really want to share with you is my excitement because I am here with special guest Betsy, super, super special guest because Betsy has just completed, or we call it graduating, but Betsy has just graduated from her time, although it's the beginning, but graduated her time in the Ignite Your Life program. And so, Betsy, thanks for coming on and giving your time, your precious time, to share a little bit about your journey with anybody who's out there who may be sort of suffering a little bit in the health, struggling in the health, weight loss department. So welcome, and let's just dive in. And do you want to share with
Okay.
everybody a little bit about how you felt 16 weeks ago?
16 weeks ago, I was living in frustration and a real sense of defeat and betrayal because I felt like my body had betrayed me. I had struggled with my weight all my life. Now I'm 62 years old and I have type 2 diabetes. And I tried everything out there imaginable to lose weight and to get my blood sugar under control. And I had, over the years, escalated management medications for the health conditions that were developing as a result of the excess weight that I'd been carrying around really since 30 years ago when I had my first baby. So I was not in a good place when I found this program.
No, you are not. And I think, Betsy, what you said was that you felt sort of, you used the word defeated, just
Mhm.
defeated, discouraged. And you had tried a lot of things, hadn't you?
I had.
What were some of the things that you had tried?
I tried Nutrisystem, I tried Weight Watchers, I tried uh, local programs that advertise supplements that would guarantee weight loss and fat burning. The most successful program that I had tried was a plant-based cleanse program that I had found online, and I knew that with that my body felt really good. But the recipes were kind of complicated to make. My family did not really like the intensity of work that went into eating like that. And so everything that I tried would lose a little weight and then I would plateau. And without a drastic calorie reduction, I would stay at the first probably 10, 12 pounds. And then I would gradually go back to old eating habits because I ultimately was not satisfied with what I was eating.
And what did it feel like for you, Betsy, being a woman who's very accomplished in your life? So you've got beautiful children, successful children, you're accomplished in your work, in your career, you've done so much in your life. What did it feel like? Were you even aware that I've got to this place in my life, and yet this is this area, and it's inescapable because it's what you're looking at every day, and it's the body that you're living in every day. Was that, were you aware of that it was just like, there's this thing I've, and you're it's not through lack of will and drive for somebody like you either, Betsy. I mean, you're not somebody who sort of sits around just going, oh, I'm so what was that like to be in a body, in your body, a body that you didn't like, that you felt was betraying you, and yet there was that mismatch, right, for somebody who was so successful in so many other areas of your life?
It felt like I was getting to a point in my life where I was beginning to confront the possibility that I just needed to get satisfied as a plus size woman and find clothes that I liked the look at on my body, even though I didn't like how my body looked under those clothes. But I was really at a point of confronting the possibility of just settling and letting my endocrinologist continue to add medications. I'm not insulin dependent with the type 2 diabetes, but he had begun to talk about the possibility of adding insulin. And whereas my stated goal 10 years ago was that I wanted to be reducing the number of meds I was needing to have, instead, every year it seemed like I was taking another management medication. And I was really at a point of discouragement of saying, I guess I just need to get comfortable with this because I guess it's never going to change.
Yeah, it was a little bit of that feeling, that awful feeling of, well, I've just got to kind of settle, really. This is just the way that it
Right.
is. So, Betsy, you took the plunge, you took a call with me, you saw the masterclass,
I did.
we had a chat of discussing whether what was what, and whether we thought, this would be a good fit for you, and you decided to take the plunge. This is what I was just saying to you just before, we spoke, is that you had so much intentionality. So talk a little bit about, you jumped in, and then what happened?
So I made the commitment. I had a couple of big calendar dates in the fall months. My husband and I had just committed to a 2-week trip to Hawaii that was a company award trip with the business that we own. And then in late November, right after Thanksgiving, our middle daughter is getting married. So I knew I had 2 big, high on my list, important events coming up on the calendar. And you gave me hope in that conversation that we had, that I actually might have the power, did have the power to make a commitment, and that through this program, I could make a significant change in my life, in my physical health, in my emotional health, in my mental health, that I could actually come into a different area of my life and be transformed. And that gave me the mantra of, I can do anything for 15 weeks. And so when I made the commitment and came out of the room, having talked with you and talked with my husband, I said, here's kind of how the program works. I laid it out and I said, I can do anything for 15 weeks. And if this does what it could do, here's where I will be when we go on that cruise in mid-September. And I'm there. And so somewhere in the middle of the program, I did move away from I can do anything for 15 weeks and moved into, and this is now how I live. And it's amazing the transformation in my mindset that has embraced a new way of living that is giving me so much more than I ever dreamed of.
Yeah, that is amazing. And I love that distinction, Betsy. I love that you said that, because first off, you had that intentionality that I can do anything for 15 weeks, and we all can. And as you hear me say all the time as a coach, success is reserved for the committed. So it is
Right.
about absolute unwavering commitment. You've got to want it, ladies, and anyone who's watching. You have to want your health and your body and your vibrancy more than anything. And you have to know that you're worthy of it and that you deserve it, and that ultimately it's going to not just change your life, but everybody around you, which it has for Betsy. And we'll just get to that in a moment. But you did that. And then I think what is so key, Betsy, is that you said, and then halfway through the program, it shifted to, this is now who I am. This is what I am doing. And this is my lifestyle. And this is what works. And I'm embracing that. And that is the intention of this journey that I take you on, because I know what it's going to take to get you to commit, to get you, it's almost like over that hump, which, as you mentioned, is very much, it's not just a physical change that you're experiencing, but it's very much a mindset journey. And then when you're there, that's what I call the miracle, Betsy. That moment is the miracle. It's just like, it's the shift that gets you out of those years of struggle, of diet struggle, years of that kind of diet mindset, years of that yo-yoing, years of I'm going to grin and bear it and count points or calories until I go to my cruise on Hawaii or until I do this.
Right.
And that's the big change. And if you get to that miracle, as I say to everyone, you know, in the program, don't give up until the miracle. But it's when that happens that suddenly the miracle is like, wow, this is how I'm supposed to feel. This is the natural way to feel. This is the God-given way that I'm beginning to feel now, to feel, wow, this is what it feels like. Not what I have to do, what I'm not allowed, but this is what it feels like. And Betsy, you use the word transformation, and I don't use that word lightly because it's such a kind of overused word, particularly in the wellness space. So will you talk a little bit, for those who are watching, what does that mean to you in the context of your journey in this program?
Well, I've been transformed on so many levels. I would tag on to what we just discussed, the fact that you move in this program, or at least I did. The miracle occurs when you move from a mentality of deprivation to a mentality of abundance. And that was so key to me. My husband has said several times, your mindset is so different in this that I don't get any sense of deprivation from you anymore. I get a sense that basically the world is my oyster. There are so many things available to me living like this that there is no sense of deprivation. The transformation physically has been remarkable in terms of how my body has reshaped over the last 15 weeks. I was recently in a social setting where I was separated from my husband. He was busy with some people, and I was taking a phone call, and I had stepped away, and he came looking for me and walked right past me, not once, but twice, because he did not recognize me from behind. Because I am literally half the person that I was 15 weeks ago. But in reality, I've averaged just over 2 pounds a week, which is a very healthy rate of weight loss. But I've lost so many inches, and my body has reshaped in such remarkable ways that for the first time in 30 years, I have a waist again. I have collarbones, which I just love looking at in the mirror. But it's more than that. I stand up straighter. I have more energy. My arthritis, I'm not even on arthritis medicine anymore because my joints don't hurt. The inflammation is gone. And it's in mindset. I have this mindset of gratitude and abundance I've always been an upbeat, optimistic person, but my weight was really beginning to rob me of that. And my health issues were robbing me. And now I'm basically proving all of my doctors wrong. And every time I go back to see them, I add another brick to the wall that says, I can do anything I want to do. And my body is healing from conditions that I've had for 20, 30 years.
Wow.
And it's all because of the nutrition I'm giving it and the supplements I'm giving it and how well I'm taking care of myself. And putting myself first is something that I think most women struggle with that.
Yeah.
But that's a part of this too, taking the time to put myself first before I meet everybody else's needs. And in doing that, I equip myself to meet other people's needs too. I coach caregivers, family caregivers, as part of my career now. I'm always telling them, you've got to take care of yourself before you can take care of others in your family that need care. I've just not really embodied that myself, and now I am.
Yeah, oh, it's beautiful. And Betsy, I love, talk a little bit about what you shared on our coaching call this morning, about, because I loved that you was talking about how that couple had seen you and your husband and were amazed at how much weight you had lost, but what they said out, because I think that that's such an important piece.
Yes, we ran into a friend at a concert, and he said, "Oh my gosh, you're half the people that you used to be. Where have you gone and what have you done?" And we took him through a little bit of this because my husband did this program with me. He volunteered to come alongside me, and he embraced Eating Ignited also. And my friend said, "You know, I know other people that have lost this much weight. Combined, we've lost more than 70 pounds together." He said, "I know people who have done this and they look 10, 20 years older because they're all wrinkly and crepey and just they look haggard." He said, "You guys look 20 years younger." And it's true. We really do. So it felt so good to have somebody say that.
It's so good. And I love that because as I was saying to you, Betsy, on the coaching call that we did this morning, that, we can, women in our, most of the women that I coach are in their 50s, 60s, and we have
Mhm.
ladies, as you know, Betsy, in their 70s. But at this age, we want to grow younger. We want to age proof our bodies. We want to prevent disease. And we want to, obviously, we want to look as young and healthy and glowing as we possibly can. Now, there are plenty of ways that if you put a gun to your head that you can lose weight. We all
Sure.
know that. No one's a stranger to doing that. You can, severely reduce your caloric intake. You can do, I mean, I won't go down all the hundreds of things that you've tried, Betsy, and that I hear women trying all the time. But most of those approaches aren't about, as Betsy, you've mentioned, abundance, nourishing yourself, healing yourself, all the different things that are involved, that you can have clearer eyes, clearer skin, better hair, better skin tone, all of that sort of thing. And it's just beautiful that that's what they noticed. And then the
Right.
other piece that they noticed as well that we chatted about this morning is, and I always say this, Betsy, I say this to everyone on all of my live streams, is, nothing is more youthful and gorgeous, I should say, than the energy of walking into a room and having what we in the program talk about having the frequency of gratitude and celebration, and having dealt with some of those demons deep within that we took, that we talk about in the program, and dealing with some of that inside stuff that we can carry with us for so many years. And when we shed that and we walk in that frequency of gratitude and joy and celebration and owning the truth of who we really are, and as you said, shoulders back, the way you carry yourself, that to me is beauty. And no anti-aging serum, no, even food can give that to you. And that's really truly where, in my experience, that's where the real work is, but the real deep transformation is. And that's what I've really seen in you. So it's sort of so multi-layered, isn't it, Betsy, that what brings you into the beautiful place that you are about to go to Hawaii. Yay. Just amazing. Yes, Laureen, you're right. She's have to comment. You can't buy true beauty. And somebody does, if anybody has a question, you just pop it in here. There was one question. This is a question. I could show these questions here. Oh, Anne-Marie, where can I get the masterclass? The masterclass, Anne-Marie, I will pop it in the description to the video, and I will pop it in a little, comment to you so you can watch the masterclass. You watched the masterclass, didn't you, Betsy, before
I
you
did.
with me? And was there something in that masterclass that resonated enough that made you go, oh, I'm going to book a call with Sophie?
Oh, Sophie, it's been so long. The whole
Yeah.
master class just grabbed me and pulled me in.
Yeah.
And that's what made me want to talk with you further.
Yeah.
But I found it to be very rich. And I guess overall, it gave me hope. It restored hope that maybe there was something that I could do, that you had something that I could find a way to regain benefit, health, improve my health, improve my weight, which improved my health, and also just improved my life. Um,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
and so the masterclass was very valuable because it wasn't too long. It encapsulated information. I'm busy. I don't have 2 hours to sit and watch something like that, but it gave me what I needed to encourage me to take the next step.
Yeah. And you know, Betsy, one of the things that you said, I think is so powerful, and we talk about this in the program, is and hope. You know, most of the women that I speak to, Betsy, have
Mhm.
lost, tell me that they've lost motivation. They say, look, I've done so many things. I can start strong. I can start a diet, whatever. And a week in or 2 weeks in or whatever, I lose motivation. And what I understand and what we talk about in the program is that it's not motivation that you've lost. It's actually hope that you've lost. And
Yeah,
hope comes before motivation. If you have hope and you have intentionality, which is really what, you know, is, it seems to be the theme of the day today for me, but you have that intention. First comes hope, which is what you had a
right.
thread on that masterclass. Then when you got into the program, you saw women who were further along than you, and that gave you even more hope. You're like, oh my gosh, this is real. They're doing it. They're releasing weight. They're feeling better. They're feeling amazing. So then you got a little bit more hope.
Right.
Then through the work and the modules, you were like, oh wait, this is real. Now this is
Mhm.
not something pie in the sky here. And then I think what armed with that hope, then came the intention, and more intentionality started piling on of every day. Now I get to have hope. Now that's pulling me towards my future dream self, as we talk about in the program all the time.
Right.
Anyone who's watching, you have to have a vision of your future self. You have to. That's what pulls you with hope into the future. And then it's game on. Then we get to start doing it. So I love that. Now, we're almost out of time here, Betsy, and I know it's been a long morning for you because we've had our long coaching call as well. But one of the things that I want to say is that a couple of things. What would you say to somebody who's out there struggling, but very specifically, because this is what I hear a lot, who's tried everything, so to speak, and more importantly, who's really confused because there's so much conflicting information on the internet. Most of us live in search mode, right? We're just all the time searching for the next new thing. So whether it's diabetes, to heal our diabetes, or whether it's to lose weight, that person who's sitting on the internet, on social media, going, I just don't know. Everyone's saying something different. What would you say to that woman?
Well, I would say first, there is no quick fix. There is no easy answer. If you're sitting in the place that I was sitting 15 weeks ago, there is no easy answer. What I know is you want something that's going to be holistic, that's going to be healthy and nutritious. And you can't become more nutritious than eating the food God put on this earth for us originally. Um, Being plant based was an amazing thing for me to transform to. But also, I would say ask more questions. Ask more questions. Book a conversation. Commit to that much. Doesn't commit you any farther.
Yeah.
And then if that's a good conversation and this feels like a good fit for you, my mantra, as I said, was I can do anything for 15 weeks. I knew there was a beginning point, I knew there was an ending point, and I knew that I could commit myself for that length of time. And if it was working, great. And it works so much better than I ever dreamed it would. But I was committed, and I did make that commitment
Mm.
because you can't come into it halfway. Whatever you do in life is not worth doing if you're only doing it halfway. And if you really commit yourself and you really put forth that effort, the results you see will amaze you. They will leave you speechless. And it is so worth it. Every woman that joins Ignite today and it joins the Facebook group, I welcome them by saying, you will be so glad you made this decision,
Mm.
because I am so glad I made that first decision and booked a call with you, Sophie, after watching the masterclass. And I am so glad that I made that commitment on that call with you. And I am so grateful for the last 15 weeks of learning and growing and becoming my future dream self.
Oh, that's beautiful, Betsy. And, for anyone who's watching, if you want to, you can always pop in the comments and say, or I'll put in the description a little link where you can, book a call as Betsy did. First, she watched the class because it sort of gives you a bit of the philosophy of what I'm all about. It's a little bit different. It's a unique process. It's very deep. It's very much about, doing that inner work as well. It's holistic, as Betsy said. It's the whole thing. It's not just what you eat. And then you can always book a call with me and we can discuss and do that. So Betsy, finally, you have got another wedding coming up, right, in the not too distant future. Not your wedding, but your child's wedding.
No, I did that 33 years ago. I'm not planning to do that again.
Yeah. But what is your hope going forward? Talking about hope, you started with that little glimmer of hope. Now you've realized this, you looking at you glowing, gorgeous, in your, released all that weight, health dialed in, body healing. What's the hope with the next few things that are coming up? Well, where's your future dream self taking you next?
My future dream self wants to inspire other women to find a better way to live. I want to inspire my daughters, my son, my future daughter-in-law. I want my granddaughter and other future grandchildren, which are hopefully out there somewhere, to see the way I am living now as really rich and fulfilling. And I want my friends and other women that I come in touch with that I see going through the same struggles that I've lived with all my life, and bondage, honestly, bondage to food, to realize that that bondage doesn't have to enslave them, that they can live a life of abundance and not a life of deprivation and guilt. I want to help be a part of that inspiring message going forward.
We're going to finish on that note because you get to go and inspire everybody. You get to inspire all your family this weekend. You're about to go on that cruise. You're going to inspire. You never know. I know all those people that you're going to touch and inspire from this moment on because of the work that you've done and the valuable, really the most valuable work that you could do. And we get to have you, Betsy, around for many years to come. And thank God we do. So thank you for being here today. Everybody have an amazing, amazing weekend. Betsy, you're an absolute, you're precious, so precious. And there's your husband in the background and your dog. I'm going to let you get on with your day. Ladies, or gents, anyone who's watching, have an amazing, amazing weekend. And I will see you all soon. And thank you, Betsy. Mwah. Bye-bye, everybody.